Outlander is primarily a historical romantic drama. It's also considered a magical realism fantasy due to the usage of magical time travel. Based on the book series by Diana Gabaldon, the Outlander TV show, which has been running since 2014, initially focuses on the time-traveling adventures of Claire Randall, played by Katrina Balfe, with a mixture of love and great drama. Anyway, here's all the latest from the land of Outlander in today's video. Kicking us off, Outlander Jamie Fraser actor Sam Heughan issues warning to social media followers. Outlander star Sam Heughan has issued a stark warning to his army of fans, urging them to be careful of scammers posing as him and members of his team. Taking to Instagram, the 42-year-old Scottish actor told his 3 million followers, "Please be careful of scammers. Neither myself nor my team will reach out. No agent, manager, friend, family member of publicity members." It's not the first time Heughan, known to millions thanks to his role as Jamie Fraser in Outlander, has taken to social media to warn fans about fake accounts. Last year, a New York woman was scammed out of her life savings of £34,000, which she mistakenly believed she was investing in the star's whiskey brand, Sassensack Spirits EA. Another woman, a 56-year-old nurse from Florida, told last year how she handed over £36,000 to a con artist, having been convinced by the scammer that she had been in an online relationship with Heughan since 2018. Earlier this week, the Evening News reported that Heughan will be appearing at a convention celebrating Outlander TV series next month, and fans will have the chance to meet the actor in person to get autographs and photographs. Heughan will appear on the Saturday of the Star Fury, the Highlanders convention, to give a guest talk. The 3-day event, which takes place from July 1st to 3rd at the Hilton Hotel in Glasgow, will include stars such as Richard Rankin, Sophie Skelton, David Barry, Duncan LaCroix, and Alexander Vlahos. Last week, it was announced that Heughan is honored by the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. The actor, who said in the past that moving to Edinburgh as a teenager shaped him into the person he is today, will be awarded an honorary degree by the Conservatoire on July 7th. The Balmaclellan-born star will be joined by Ncuti Gatwa, the former Bourgmere High School pupil who has just been named the BBC's Next Time Lord in Doctor Who, alongside musician Marin Alsop and composer Erilyn Wallen. Heughan graduated from the Conservatoire as part of the class of 2003. Heughan is part of the ensemble cast of Suspect, an 8-part crime drama about a veteran detective named Danny Frater, played by James Nesbitt. The series follows the detective as he retraces his daughter's final days in an attempt to find out what really happened to his only child. Let's move on to some of the time travelers in Outlander explained. First is Claire Fraser. Though she isn't the first person to ever time travel in Outlander, Claire is the first person seen using this ability. Claire spends a good amount of the first season trying to figure out a way to get back to the 20th century, though her journey is hindered because Clan Mackenzie needs her abilities as a healer. When a pregnant Claire returns to the future in Outlander Season 2, she's transported not back to 1945, but instead 3 years later, showing that time has passed since she first traveled through the stones. In 1968, Claire makes the decision to go back through the stones. She once again ends up traveling 202 years back in time. It's 1765 when she returns to 18th century Scotland. Claire guesses that gemstones are key to her successful passages through time. She was wearing a jeweled watch the first time she went through, and when she travels back to the 20th century, she's wearing a ring that Jamie gave her. There's no concrete proof of this theory in universe, but perhaps gemstones are helpful for the journey. Claire's love for Jamie also helps guide her during her time-traveling trips. It's a powerful force that helps pull her to a place back in time. Next is Galis Duncan. Galis, played by Lottie Verbeek, is the first time traveler that Claire encounters in Outlander. After Claire first time travels to 1743 Scotland, Galis suspects that Claire is from the future. Galis is a time traveler from the 1960s, originally named Gillian Edgars. She goes through the stones in 1968 to ensure that the Jacobite rebellion of 1745 is successful. While in 18th century Scotland, she has an affair with Dougal Mackenzie, a supporter of the Jacobite cause that Bonnie Prince Charlie fought for in Outlander. Galis is convicted of witchcraft but is saved from hanging because she's pregnant with Dougal's son, William Buckley Mackenzie, who ends up being Roger Mackenzie's ancestor. Back in 1968, Galis was devoted to cracking the secret to time travel. She incorrectly believes that a blood sacrifice is needed and murders her first husband before traveling through the stones. In Outlander Season 3, even after being told by Claire that sacrifice isn't necessary, Galis attempts to sacrifice young Ian, John Bell. Galis is a fascinating and flawed character whose passion for the country of Scotland ends up becoming her undoing. Third is Master Raymond. Master Raymond, played by Dominique Pinon, is an apothecary who Claire befriends while living in Paris in early 1744. According to Outlander Season 2's timeline, Claire befriends Raymond after coming into his shop to find a potion that will help Jamie sleep. Raymond and Claire are kindred spirits as they both heal people, and he becomes a close ally to Claire in a city where she feels out of place. In Outlander Season 2, Episode 4, La Dame Blanche, Claire Claire is poisoned by Comte Saint-Germain, Stanley Weber, and Raymond comes to her aid. This episode also makes it clear that Raymond is a time traveler and is fascinated by things that are not of this time. In the middle of Outlander Season 2, Raymond and Saint-Germain are both tried for witchcraft, and Claire uses her healing power to save her friend's life by giving him a fake potion she's created to test whether or not he's a witch. She does this as an act of kindness to repay Raymond for saving her life on other occasions. Though Raymond ends up being banished from France by the king, he hints that he will see Claire again in this lifetime or another. The TV series doesn't delve too much into his backstory, but Diana Gabaldon has said that she believes he came from around 400 BC and has time traveled before. Fourth is Ottertooth. In Outlander Season 4, Claire, Jamie, and Ian, who later marries Emily, a Mohawk woman, must rescue Roger, played by Richard Rankin, who is a prisoner of the Mohawk tribe. Though Claire is turned away at first because of a special gemstone necklace she wears, she gets another chance to talk to the Mohawk tribe about freeing Roger. A woman from the tribe tells Claire about the legend of Ottertooth, played by Trevor Carroll, a man who claimed to be a time traveler sent back to warn the Native Americans about the genocide that was to come. Though Ottertooth was sent away, he kept returning to the tribe, who felt they had no choice but to kill him. He was buried with the pendant around his neck. The stone, which Claire now owns, was thought to tell the future of the Mohawk tribe. Earlier in Outlander Season 4, Claire encounters the ghost of Ottertooth. Based on the silver dental fillings Claire finds in the skull, she deduces that he must have been a fellow time traveler. His backstory isn't fully explored in the Outlander TV series, but in the books, Ottertooth is Robert Springer, a 20th century activist who was a part of a group called the Montauk Five that mysteriously disappeared in 1968. The group members attempted to use the stones to warn Native Americans about their fate at the hands of white colonists. Finally, we have Brianna Fraser. As Claire's daughter, Brianna's, or Sophie Skelton's, time-traveling abilities can be explained by genetics. Though she's initially skeptical of Claire's time travel stories, she eventually believes her mom and is the one who encourages her to go back through the stones to find Jamie. Brianna is inspired to time travel in Outlander Season 4 after seeing a newspaper clipping that says Jamie and Claire died in a house fire in the 1770s. Brianna and Roger meet up again in 18th century America. The two consummate their relationship, and by the Season 4 finale, Brianna has given birth to their son. In Outlander Season 5, a now married Roger and Brianna, along with their son, Jemmy, attempt to travel through the stones back to the 1970s. However, the time travel is unsuccessful. The family was thinking of home, but the stones would not let them pass because they're already home in the 18th century. This departs from the books, where the family is able to go back to the future, because in the Outlander books, Brianna and Roger's daughter, Amanda, is born with a heart defect that can't be cured in the 1700s. Brianna and Roger's failure to pass through the stones in Outlander Season 5 shows that time travel needs a specific purpose, rather than something general like going home, though that doesn't explain how Claire was first able to pass through the stones in 1945. Well guys, thanks for sticking with us till the very end, but unfortunately, that's all the time we had for today. Till next time, cheers.